G'day, and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And this very well could be the most overpowered mid-2010s Audi. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me give you the headline figures. This 2016 Audi SQ5 can be bought for the high teens if you search hard enough. And for that, you're getting a barely 10-year-old modern Audi with all the features that you could possibly ask for inside. But not only that, under the bonnet, you have 230 kilowatts at your disposal and 650 Newton meters of torque. And it'll do less than 7 litres per 100k if you try hard enough. There are very few cars for this amount of money that can fit as many things in them that this can, that offer as many features that this does, with the amount of performance that this does, but without the catastrophic fuel consumption that tends to come with it. And so today we're going to explore the Audi SQ5 to see what it's like and whether this really is the ultimate daily driver. As the SQ5 is based on the Audi A4 or A5 platform, under the bonnet we find the same engines. You could have this with either a 3-litre supercharged V6, an engine that I am particularly fond of. The red S5 that I had with that engine was stage 1 tuned, and with the incredible dual clutch gearbox and 4-wheel drive, it was a stunningly beautiful car to look at and an epic car to drive. But you could also get the SQ5 with this engine here, what appears to be a run-of-the-mill 3-litre TDI engine that Audi and Volkswagen put in just about every single model in the range. But this is actually the far more high-performance twin turbocharged 3-litre TDI engine, and as a result, as compared with the normal single turbo 3-litre TDI that makes around 170 kilowatt, this has 230, or around 313 horsepower and 650 newton meters of torque. So the engines are basically the same as an S5. But what sets this car apart is that instead of the good but slightly unreliable 7-speed dual clutch gearbox that is known for Megatronic and clutch failures, this instead has an ultra reliable ZF 8-speed transmission, which really does elevate it above the S5 with which it's based, because you still have the same quattro all-wheel drive system, you have the same engines under the bonnet, but you have one less thing to worry about when getting behind the wheel, because the transmission, provided it's well serviced, should be rock solid in typical ZF8 fashion, and it's a lot smoother. And now the interior. If you've sat in any sort of 2008 and onwards Audis, you will be very familiar with this interior layout. The only thing that's a bit different about this one is that while it still has the cool Audi S-Car grey gauges, the tachometer only goes to 5,000 RPM, of course, because it's a diesel. But the steering wheel looks and feels great. The bucket seats are awesome in that they feel like sports car seats and they still sit reasonably low for an SUV, but you get the added advantage of an SUV, which is a bit more ground clearance and a little bit more room in the back. The features on the inside here are really everything that you could possibly ask for. A nicely integrated Audi MMI infotainment system with physical controls down here to adjust it, with Bluetooth, reversing camera, navigation and more. You've got dual zone climate control, heated seats, front and rear parking sensors, cruise control, auto lights and wipers. For what can be, with high Ks, a $15,000 car, you really will struggle to find anything else that offers this level of features, with this level of performance, with this level of fuel consumption, and relative reliability all in one. Driving the Audi SQ5. Let's find out if a 230 kilowatt diesel is fast. Oh yes, it most certainly is. Not that you can hear it at all, it's a completely silent engine, but straight off the bat, it has a lovely amount of power. And what's really great is that yes, it is an SUV. I don't normally tend to review SUVs on the channel just because they don't exactly know of being terribly sporty. But when I reviewed an X3M the other day, I was actually quite surprised for a car that was still a pretty decent size at how well it drove down a back road. And this is very much the same. It manages to strike that perfect balance between being lovely and comfortable on the open road, absorbing bumps very nicely, and just generally being an ideal open road car. But when you turn in, you feel something through the steering. It changes direction really quite quickly for a car of this sort of size, and then when you get unleashed onto a straight like this, well, you can't hear anything at all. Man, the engine is absolutely hauling this thing along. Overtaking is just a breeze in this car, and the transmission works perfectly. I like too that it has a bit of a kick when you upshift it as well. There are some things that I would like to see in this thing, and the first is a little bit of noise. You can hear just a touch of V6, and it's not a bad sounding engine at all as far as diesels go. One of these with like full exhaust modifications, a lot of people say they sound like kind of low revving GTRs. This one though, bone stock condition. If we come to a stop here and try and get as much noise into the cabin as possible, first gear, you'll hear there it really is not giving us much in the way of V6 noises, but the performance is most impressive, eh? And I love how short the gears are. You can bang through like 4 or 5 gears before you even get to 100 k's an hour, just because they're so short, and it responds really snappily. Gives you a lovely kick in the back when you change up. Doof, you feel it bang into the next gear. It's so cool. Now it does auto upshift, and there's a fair bit of turbo lag, eh? I was looking under there. The turbos on this thing are absolutely massive, and it's really weird that one of them is facing transverse and one of them is facing lengthways. It's really a strange layout, not at all what I expected. It's almost like they designed the V6 to be a single turbo engine, and then they just sort of tacked another turbo on the back for this version. But the result is quite profound, man. It revs to 5,200 RPM, which in the grand scheme of things is not very high, but it's pretty high for a diesel, and it pulls right to redline. You don't feel any let up in power when you get even right to 5,000 RPM, which I absolutely love, and I know that those 2 turbos are the key to that, because I do a lot of Ks. Something like this really does appeal quite a lot. You get the space and practicality of a SUV, but because it's like a sporty SUV and a diesel one at that, you get all the performance and torque that's just ideal for towing, ideal for overtaking on the open road. It does all of the New Zealand road driving side of things really, really well. But then it's also pretty fun to drive. It's also pretty fast, and it handles really well, but it's soft enough where the lumps and bumps of poorly sealed up and down New Zealand roads don't really make their way into the cabin. So the Audi SQ5, I really like this car and would absolutely consider owning one. All it needs is a bit more noise. Genuinely one of the best value for money Audis that you can buy, and it is the absolute perfect European car for driving on New Zealand roads. If you'd like to see some other fast Audis that I've reviewed, then click the links popping up right about now, and I will very much look forward to seeing you again next time.